Radha Kanta Namostute, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Haripriya, Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prestaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarane. So the month of Kartik, there are many scriptures which are filled with the glories of Kartik. Especially the Skanda Puran Acharya, the Sanatana Goswami, has given very elaborate explanation about the glories of Kartik. So the Kartik month, as we all know, is also known as the Damodar month. Dama means the back, or Dama means the rope, sorry, Dama means the rope, and Udar means the uh, belly. So Damodar, where Krishna agrees to be bound by Mother Yashoda. It is described as the best month. One of the glories is Tasmadvratam Trayam Yetanmam Te Priyankaram Magha Kartikayostat Vatathai Vekadashi Vratam. So three vratas is being mentioned here. One is the Magha. In the Magh month, if somebody performs vrata, then in the Kartik month, what is the third? Who can make out what is the third vrata is mentioned here? I'll show you. Okay.
Ekadashi Vratam.
Yes, Ekadashi. It is written here. Why Ekadashi vrata? And how important is Kartik? Vanaspati Nam Tulsi Masanam Kartika Priya. As amongst all the plants, the Tulsi plant is most sacred, most respected, most glorious. Similarly, amongst all the months, Kartik is most dear. Ekadashi Tithi Nama Chashitranam Dwarka Mama Etesam Sevanam Yastu Karoti Cha Jitendriya Same Vallabhatam Yati Na Tatha Yajanadihi. So of all the plants, the sacred Tulsi is most dear to me. Of all months, Kartik is most dear. Of all places of pilgrimage, beloved is Dwarka, and most dear of all days, Kashi is dear. So is Kartik. Kartik was the festival of offering lamps to Lord Krishna. Lasts the entire month. Don't go for the dates. This glorifies Krishna's pastime of being bound by ropes by Mother Yashoda. Observing Vrata in the month of Kartik is glorified in the Puranas. As Satyug is the best of the Yugas, as the Vedas are the best of the scriptures, as Ganga is the best of rivers, so Kartik is the best of the month, the most dear to Lord Krishna. And what we should do, how we should observe, we should try to increase our devotional service in this month. Most important is how we can increase our Praise the Lord. And devotional service consists of, and the other is the sadhana, not just sadhana or not just saving. To try to increase both and try to focus more on spiritual activities that will please Krishna rather than getting engaged in those activities which has nothing to do with it. So everyone should take some vow. Some vow should be there. And as far as possible, attempt should be made. A little extra effort should be made. One of the vow is that we should try to wake up in Brahma Muhurat. At least in the Ekadashi month, we try to wake up in Brahma Muhurat. Second is on the Ekadashi, we definitely offer lamp and sing Damodar Ashtakam. Every day we should not miss out. On this 30 days, we should try. I remember when I was working, I had not joined the temple. I think it was 2007. Yeah, 2007 must be. Every 30 days, I was able to attend Damodar Ashtakam in the temple. Full month. Not a single day missed. Desire was there. And Krishna facilitated it. So we must have the desire to perform some service. And if we have that desire and we intensify the desire, Krishna will facilitate. And in terms of service, we should find some avenues to do service. Plan for marathon. Start writing down, make a diary. Both what you have done with whom all you have done so far, write down their name, their contract, what all you distributed through them, and write down those names whom you could not contact, or the new ones, the prospective ones, where you can do. This can be great service in Kartika. You do the preparation now, and in the Magh Mas, why austerity is there? Because you will do good distribution. So Krishna is saying there are three vratas which are very dear to him. One is the Magha, the other is the Kartik, and the third is the Ekadashi. Of course, we observe all the Ekadashis. And obviously, we try to increase our hearing, reading, and chanting. And try to balance. I would not say cut. Try to make a proper balance of our eating and sleeping and recreation. Try to keep it to the balanced point, not excess, nothing excess on it. So in this way, we can observe the Kartik Vrat and we can please the Supreme Lord. Do some seva to Tulsi Devi. All of you have Tulsi Devi. So every day, perform pradakshina of Tulsi Devi. Water Tulsi Devi and perform pradakshina. There is great merit in serving Tulsi Devi. You have Tulsi Devi Manoram with you? Yes?
Yes.
How many? One?
Yes, Prabhuji.
It should be at least three. So bring two more. Or try to multiply. All the devotees should have at least 3 or 4 Tulsi plants, not one. One is not sufficient. So japa, chanting the holy names of the Lord, we can increase our rounds. If we are every day chanting 16, then we should chant 20, as I said. If you are chanting 20, then try to make it 25. So this is voluntarily for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Worship Krishna by offering ghee, lamp, flower, incense. Practice brahmacharya, celibacy, worship of Tulsi, perform austerity. One big austerity, very, very big austerity would be that we will sleep in time. To make a vow that there should be a cutoff. Say 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock we will sleep. And if we remain awake after 10, then we will have to chant some extra round. Then you chant some extra round every day. Manoram? And Sonika. Manoram will not give me his chant. Why? Because then I will pull him. Both for sleeping time and wake up time. So if your wake up time is not in Brahma Muhurat, you chant more. If your sleeping time is more, then you chant. So you have all reasons to chant. Either you discipline yourself or you chant more. Okay, and don't miss any class. For next 30 days, we should have Shravan Kirtan, regular Shravan Kirtan. Little more, and then we'll come to Shravan Bhagavatam. दामोदरष्टकं नाम रुद्रं दामोदर अर्चनम नित्यं दामोदर आकर्षी अथेत सत्यव्रत उदितम. In the month of Kartik, one should daily worship Lord Damodar and sing the Damodar Ashtakam, the 8 prayers of Lord Damodar, which pleases Lord Damodar, written by sage Satyavrata. Throughout the entire month of Kartik, one should daily offer ghee lamp to Lord Damodar and singing Damodar Ashtakam. Srimati Radhika is the holy month of Kartika. She is the presiding deity, which precede his month. His month, Krishna's month is Purushottam month. But this is the month. It is of Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani is the presiding deity of this month of Kartik. कार्तिके अस्मिन् विशेषेण युक्तं कुर्वति वैष्णव दामोदरार्चनं प्रातः स्नानदानव्रताधिकम्. This is from Skanda Puran. That's specifically in the months of Damodar Kartik. One should daily worship Lord Damodar Krishna and take bath early in the morning. Damodar Archanam, and to perform Damodar Archanam, what is required is Prata Snana. One has to wake up early and bathe early. And there should be some vrata to give some charity. This is the duty of the Vaishnava. By mercy of Lord Narsimdev, today the Shatar was done. It was offered to Narsimdev. Yesterday we got the Shatar from Jaipur and it was offered to Narsimdev from morning darshan, which is available. So we should try, we should stretch in this month. Whatever little extra we do, that is an offering to Krishna. That is very satisfying, very pleasing, because Srimati Radharani recommends. Okay, so we will begin our 11th chapter of the first canto. The Krishna enters Dwarka. Suta Uvacha Anartan Mutha Upavrijya Swaridhan Janapadan Swakan Dadmao Daravaram Tesham Vishadam Samyana Iva. Suta Goswami said, upon reaching the border of his most prosperous metropolis, the most advanced city was Dwarka, metropolis, known as the country of the Anarthas, Dwarka. The Lord sounded his auspicious function, heralding his arrival and apparently pacifying the dejections of the inhabitants. So Krishna was away for a long time. The beloved Lord was away from his own prosperous metropolis of Dwarka for a considerably long period of time because of the battle of Kurukshetra. And thus all the inhabitants were overcome with melancholy due to the separation. When the Lord descends to the earth, his eternal associates also come with him, just as the entourage of a king accompanies him. Such associates of the Lord are eternally liberated souls, and they cannot bear the separation of the Lord even for a moment. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Yugayitam Nimishena. Interestingly, anyone know what is Nimesh? What is the duration of Nimesha? Where the gopis are saying that It is sounding like Juga. How much is the calculation of Nimesh? We were studying the calculation of Kal. So Nimesh is mentioned. Nimesh is 8 by 15th of a second. 8 by 15 of a second means how much? Half a second? Mother 8 by 15th is how much? 2 less than 2. Less than 2 seconds?
Yes, Prabhuji,
Even
around
half a second.
0.5.
0.5, half a second. So half a second for the gopis is seeming to be a yuga. One day of Brahma is 311 trillion. How much will be a yuga? So the gopis are saying, so this is what the pure devotees, they cannot bear separation from Krishna, even for a moment, because of intense affection for the Lord. And for the Dwarkavasis, how much they had to withstand the separation. Thus, the inhabitants of the city of Dwarka were in the mood of rejection and expected the arrival of the Lord at any moment. So, the heralding sound of the auspicious conch shell was very encouraging. And apparently, the sound pacified their dejection. They were extremely aspirant to see the Lord amongst themselves. And all of them become alert to receive Him in the befitting manner. These are the sign of the spontaneous love of Godhead. So, all the residents of Dwarka, their soul was Krishna. And as soon as they heard the sound of the conch shell of Krishna, there was immediately so much of joy and vigor, as if they have come back to life. Sauchakashe dhavolodara api urupramasya adharoshana sonima Tadhyamanya mana karakanja sampute yathabja khande kalaham utsvana. The white and fat bowled conch shell, being gripped by the hand of Lord Krishna and sounded by him, appeared to be reddened by the touch of his transcendental lips. What is the lips of Krishna compared to? Yes, Ramya, you gave the hand first.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Bimba fruit.
Yes, remember. The meditation now should be towards Damodar Lila. What is the verse, Sonika? Which line is this?
Moshtumbitam Bimba.
Muhushchumbitam bimba rakta dharam.
Dharam.
Adhara, it's like. Oh. Pradeep, please mute. And why your video is off? Where are you? So, the conch shell was experiencing that Adharamrit because it was blown by Krishna. It seemed that a white swan was playing in the stem of red lotus flowers. Krishna blowing the conch shell. See, this is what the devotees do. It may look like a ordinary affair, but there in the blowing of the conch shell. But it has been magnified. Who is the administrator? Manora Dayashil? Okay. Okay, he has voted. He has voted. So the event will look ordinary, but when it is in connection with the Supreme Lord, it becomes extraordinary. So it was like the white swan which is playing amongst the red lotuses. And Krishna was blowing the conch shell. And the blowing of the conch shell gave fresh leash of life to all the residents of Dwarka who are feeling so much of dejection. The redness and the white conch shell due to the lip touch of the Lord is a symbol of spiritual significance. The Lord is all spirit and the matter is the ignorance of this spiritual existence. Factually, there is nothing like matter in spiritual enlightenment. And this spiritual enlightenment takes place at once by the contact of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. The Lord is present in every particle of all existence. And he can manifest his presence from anything and everything according to the spiritual enlightenment of the devotee. Otherwise, the Lord reserves the right of not being exposed to anyone and everyone. So this special right is there with the devotee. By ardent love and devotional service to the Lord, or in other words, by spiritual contact with the Lord, everything becomes spiritually reddened, like the conch shell, the grip of Lord. And the Paramahansa or the supremely intelligent person play the part of the ducking swan in the water of spiritual bliss, eternally decorated by the lotus flowers of the Lord's feet. Such a beautiful purport Srila Prabhupada has given. Prabhupada is expressing what should be the aspiration of a dedicated devotee. That he should be playing the part of a ducking swan in the water of spiritual bliss, decorated by the lotus flower of Lord's lotus feet. Tam upashrutya ninadam jagadbhaya bhayavaham pratyutyayur praja sarva atra darshan lalasa. The citizens of Dwarka, having heard the sound which threatens fear personified in the material world, began to run towards him fast, just to have a long desired audience with the Lord, who is the protector of all devotees. So see what is the impact. As soon as the sound reached the ears of the residents of Dwarka, they dropped everything else and they began to approach the Lord. They ran towards him. As already explained, the citizens of Dwarka who lived at the time of Lord Krishna's presence were all liberated souls who descended there along with the Lord as his entourage. All were very anxious to have audience with the Lord. Although because of spiritual contact, they were never separated from the Lord. Just as the gopis at Vrindavan used to think of Krishna while he was away from the village for cow herding arrangements. The citizens of Dwarka were all immersed in thought of the Lord while he was away from Dwarka to attend the battle of Kurukshetra. Some distinguished fiction writer in Bengal concluded that Krishna of Vrindavan, that of Mathura and that of Dwarka were different personalities. Very important principle. Prabhupada is writing that some distinguished fiction writer, not realized devotees, they are fiction writers in Bengal, concluded that Krishna of Vrindavan, that of Mathura and that of Dwarka are different personalities. Historically, there is no truth in this conclusion. The Krishna of Kurukshetra and the Krishna of Dwarka are one and the same personality. The citizens of Dwarka were thus in a state of melancholy due to the Lord's absence from the transcendental city. As much as we are put in a state of melancholy at night because of the absence of the sun. The sound heralded by Lord Krishna was something like the heralding of the sunrise in the morning. So all the citizens of Dwarka awoke from a state of slumber because of the sunrise of Krishna. And they all hastened towards him just to have an audience. The devotee of the Lord no one else as protector. The sound of the Lord is identical with the Lord. We have tried to explain by non-dual position of the Lord. The material existence of our present status is full of fear. Out of the four problems of material existence, namely the food problem, the shelter problem, the fear problem, and the mating problem. The fear problem gives us more trouble than others. We are always fearful due to our ignorance of the next problem. The whole material existence is full of problems, and thus the fear problem is always prominent. This is due to our association with the illusionary energy of the Lord, known as Maya or external energy. Yet all fear is vanquished as soon as there is the sound of the Lord represented in His holy name, as was sounded by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the following 16 words. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We can take advantage of these sounds and can be free from all threatening problems of material existence. If we chant attentively and if we chant with submission, then in the heart there is no possibility of any fear. Verse 4th and 5th. Tatropnita balyo Raver Deepam Ivadrita Atmaraman Purnakamam Nijlabhena Nityada Priti Utpala Mukha Prachur Harsha Gada Gadaya Gida Itaram Sarva Suhidam Avitaram Ivar Bharkaha. The citizens arrived before the Lord with their respective presentations. No one came empty-handed. They brought something to offer to Krishna, offering them to be fully satisfied and self-sufficient one, who by his own potency incessantly supplies others. These presentations were like the lamp offered during the worship of the sun. Lamp offered to the worship of the sun. That means the light is taken from the sun and offered back. Yet the citizens began to speak in a static language to receive the Lord, just as the gods welcome his guardian and father. Supreme Lord Krishna is described herein as Atmaram. He is self-sufficient, and there is no need for him to seek happiness from anything beyond himself. He is self-sufficient because his very transcendental existence is total bliss. He is eternally existent, he is all cognizant and all blissful. Therefore, any presentation, however valuable it may be, is not needed by him. But still, because he is the well-wisher for one and all, he accepts from everyone everything that is offered to him in pure devotional service. It is not like that he is in want of such things, because the things are themselves generated from his energy. The comparison is made here that making offering to the Lord is something like offering a lamp to the worship of the sun god. Anything fiery and illuminating is but an emanation of the energy of the sun. And yet to worship sun god, it is necessary to offer him a lamp. In the worship of the sun, there is some sort of demand made by the worshipper. But in the case of devotional service to the Lord, there is no question of demand from either side. Either side, neither the Lord is demanding nor the devotee. It is all sign of pure love and affection between the Lord and the devotee. The Lord is the Supreme Father of all living beings, and therefore, those who are conscious of this vital relationship with God can make filial demands from the Father, and the Father is pleased to supply the demands of such obedient sons without bargaining. The Lord is just like deity, and from Him, everyone can have everything by the causeless mercy of the Lord. As the Supreme Father, the Lord, however, does not supply to a pure devotee what is considered to be a barrier in the discharge of devotional service. Those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord can rise to the position of unemployed devotional service by his transcendental attraction. So we see how the residents of Dwarka, how eagerly they are awaiting the return of Krishna. And as soon as they heard the sound of Krishna arriving in Dwarka, not only their hearts poured out, they ran. They ran to get one audience of close proximity to Krishna. Okay, I'll stop here. We should try, all of us should sincerely try to sleep before 10 so that we can easily wake up in proper mirror without any difficulty or struggle. Okay? Any question or any discussion on the Dwarkavasis, their eagerness, their zeal? What are they compared to? What are the Dwarkavasi compared to? What is Shukdev Goswami comparing Dwarkavasis to? I just read. What is it compared to? Yes, they are Shilpo.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. They're compared to Swan, Prabhuji, Swan, taking pleasure in the lotus stem.
Very good. One analogy is like the swan which takes pleasure in the lotus. So the Dwarkavasis, they dive in the bliss and take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Very good. What else? What are the other analogy given? Monora, okay. Yes, Sonika.
प्रभु जी वृंदावन की गोपियां
Sorry.
Gopis of Vrindavan, प्रभु जी.
No, about the Dwarkavasis, another example is given now. How they are welcoming.
Like
Monoram.
children, like children welcome their parents.
Where is it written? We did not read that. Children welcoming the parents. Is it mentioned? What is the analogy given? Don't see the books, भाई. Book में देख के नहीं पढ़ो. अभी hearing किया है. Monoram, what is the analogy given? How the Dwarkavasis were receiving the Supreme Lord? What presentations they were giving? Pranav?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, like wardens welcome their guardian or father.
Is it mentioned?
Yes, in the translation, Prabhuji. 4, 5,
Or fifth?
the translation and the last line.
I was looking for the lambs offered to the sun. That's a prominent analogy. The lamb which is offered to the sun. Everything the Dwarkavasis had, it was all because of the mercy of Krishna. But they were utilizing in service to Krishna. Okay. Yes. You want to say something there, Shilpo?
No, Prabhuji, no.
Anyone else? Anything to mention? Any question? Any discussion? Or what is the Kartik vow? I have taken 4 vows. I will try to. An average of at least 20 rounds. I have taken an average because if someday I skip, then I have at least extra day. Then I can make up. Best is to keep buffer. You keep chanting more so that when if you are stuck, then there is no problem. I took it from Jitamit Prabhu. He chants every day extra. Every day he chants extra. So that he is not put into any difficulty. And he told me that never he has been put into any difficulty. He is able to easily chant. And then try to do everyday reading, hearing without fail. with the association of all of you. We'll try not to miss any class in this. Although I have 3 regular classes, 24, 25, 26, 3 days consecutively. Bhagavatam class is there. I don't know how I will be able to do, but I will try not to miss this class. And if any other engagement is there, I will try to keep it in such a way that this is not disturbed. So I expect from all of you also. Plan your day in such a way. Give it up. Leave it. There is no point. Either it has to be done before only, not after the class. And of course, as I try every time to eat grains only once in a day, not more than that. And also, I am trying that by to sleep by before 10. It is a more difficult one for me. Try to sleep before 10 p.m. Of course, wake up is in Brahma Muhurt, but try to sleep by 10. Hare Krishna. Ravinder, आपके क्या vows हैं? You have to really tell Lord Damodar and request him and pray for him. That please empower me to be able to do this service for you. बोलो,
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
बोलिए।
प्रभु जी मैं मॉर्निंग में तो डेली कर रहा था 18 राउंड, तो अभी 20 राउंड मॉर्निंग से मैं करूंगा और 5 राउंड शाम को करूंगा। 25 राउंड मैंने किया है।
अरे वो जाओ जाओ। अच्छा,
और जो भी अब जितना अभी पढ़ाए हैं भागवतम में, शुरू शुरू से पढ़ाई शुरू किया है से।
अच्छा। तो रोज आप कम से कम आधी घंटा अगर पढ़ेंगे तो बहुत बड़ा, हाँ वो होगा। अगर आप आधी घंटा रिवाइज करें तो
जी
बहुत विशेष होगा।
जी प्रभु।
और बोलिए।
और आज से हम सुबह और शाम तो ऑफरिंग करते हैं।
हाँ,
आज शुरू किए लैंप ऑफरिंग दामोदर,
ठीक है,
आफ्टर आरती दामोदर जी को
ठीक है,
लैंप ऑफर, फिर तुलसी जी का तो ऐसे ऑफरिंग कर रहे थे तो तुलसी भी कर रहे हैं।
ठीक है। तुलसी आरती कर लीजिए उधर मास में अगर संभव है तो, शॉर्ट में।
जी प्रभु।
ठीक है। प्रियंका,
हरे
और
कृष्ण।
एक और ऑस्टेरिटी करिए आप दोनों। वो पोस्टर बहुत अच्छा बनाया है गणेश प्रभु ने ना अपनी यात्रा का, और यात्रा बहुत विशेष होगी। मैं बाद में उस पर विचार कर रहा था, जिन स्थानों पे हम जाने का आपकी बार प्रयास कर रहे हैं, जिस हिसाब से यात्रा बन रही है बहुत विशेष होगी। तो आपने जो बाकी यात्रा ग्रुप्स के डिवोटीज है उन सबको वो पोस्टर भेज दीजिए, उनसे पूछिए जो आना चाहता है इज वेलकम, ले चलेंगे। हाँ, द मोर
यस
दी मर्सियर।
यस यस।
मैं आपको भेज दूंगा वो पोस्टर। पोस्टर आपने देखा है नहीं देखा आप?
नहीं हमें मिला नहीं है।
अच्छा ठीक है, मैं भेजता हूँ। मैं भेजता हूँ जितनी भी यात्रा ग्रुप है अपनी, उसमें सब में
जी
पोस्ट कर दीजिए। और बोलिए जो भी चलना चाहे वो उसको रजिस्टर कर सकते। बोलिए
यस।
प्रियंका।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हाँ,
प्रभु जी मैं ट्राई करूंगी कि मेरे स्लीपिंग टाइम में इम्प्रूव करूं।
कितना कितने बजे सोएंगे आप?
10 बजे 10।
ठीक है। और उठेंगे कितने बजे?
प्रभु जी ट्राई करूंगी 4 AM शार्प, 4 AM तक उठ जाऊं।
अगर 10 बजे सोएंगी तभी 4 बजे उठ पाएंगी, 6 घंटे तो
ठीक
चाहिए,
है।
क्योंकि आप दिन में सोती नहीं है। ठीक है। और क्विकली, लेट हो रहा है।
और हाँ यस प्रभु जी, मैं अपने रीडिंग को थोड़ा इम्प्रूव करूंगी क्योंकि रिवाइज कर नहीं पाती, इसलिए रिवाइज करूंगी जो कुछ भी हमने पढ़ा है और जो कुछ भी हमने क्लास में सुन रहे हैं।
वेरी गुड। मनोराम प्रभु, कल आप प्रेजेंट करेंगे फर्स्ट चैप्टर?
यस प्रभु जी।
ठीक है। कितना टाइम चाहिए आपको?
प्रभु जी जितना मतलब हो पाएगा।
30 मिनट से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए। 30 मिनट्स विल बी सफिशिएंट।
30 minutes will be sufficient. Yes प्रभु जी।
8:15 से 8:45, ताकि हम थोड़ा भागवतम भी पढ़ सकें। चैलेंज
यस
है ना। अभी 9 चैप्टर बाकी हैं, टाइम बहुत कम बचा है, तो अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते मिस करना। रोज के कम से कम 3-4 श्लोक तो लेने ही पड़ेंगे। आपका भाव क्या है? अभी सबका नहीं पूछ रहा, बस इनका लास्ट है, बाकी मैं कल पूछूंगा। अगर आपने नहीं ले अभी लिया है तो ले लो और निभाना ना। हाँ, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि बस 2-4 दिन करके फिर छोड़ दिया। बोलिए, जल्दी बोलिए।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। एक तो प्रभु जी थोड़ा चैंटिंग अटेंटिवली प्रयास करूंगा प्रभु जी, क्योंकि मंत्र हियरिंग नहीं हो पाता है जब चैंटिंग करते हैं। आई विल ट्राई टू गिव मोर फोकस। और एक चीज है प्रभु जी, जो श्लोकास वगैरह मेरे को बिल्कुल याद नहीं रहता है, मैं थोड़ा प्रयास करूंगा प्रभु जी भगवत गीता से कुछ पढ़ने के लिए और याद करने के लिए।
ठीक है, लिख के याद करिए, याद हो जाएगा। 2-3 बार लिखिए, अपने आप याद हो जाएगा। और ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में उठना पड़ेगा भाई। अगर आप रियली वांट टू प्लीज दामोदर, यू हैव टू वेक अप। ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में उठने का बहुत ग्लोरीज है कार्तिक में। आवाज आ रही है, नहीं आ रही है?
यस प्रभु जी।
तो एटलीस्ट मेक सम एफर्ट टू इम्प्रूव। ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री कार्तिक महामहोत्सव की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदी। हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण।